Utumbra, utung mga nang dasan siya. Nang dasan siya.
This Bajrangbali issue was something that we saw in the last couple of days of the campaigning. And Nija, if you could come in here, and what is your take on this sweep that we're now seeing of the Congress party, a very defining sweep?
I think the lay of the land was clear the day the Contractors Association announced 40% commission Sarkara. You know, contractors in any state have to work with the government. They reckon to pay 10 to 15% commissions. But for them to say 40% was something, you know, as if the water had gone over their head. And it is something that had traction with people, and they connected it to their economic hardships, you know, price rise, etc. It's really the way the UPA government lost. Massive corruption linked to economic hardships of the people. And I think that is what in every region except coastal Karnataka, the Congress has done very well.
Even in coastal Karnataka, Congress has made significant gains
That's
as well.
right, it's made significant gains.
Because that was BJP last time as well. And if the Congress, talking about coastal Karnataka and the issues that were basically raised, it looked like at the end when the Prime Minister's campaign on the reservation, the Home Minister kept speaking about the Muslim quota. The Prime Minister Jai Bajrangbali campaign specifically was for the reason that they can hold on to that coastal Karnataka area of theirs, and plus then the road shows in Bengaluru for the urban vote.
Yeah.
May I then suggest that with the Congress just mentioning the Bajrang Dal issue in their manifesto was possibly not a mistake that everybody was making out to be? It seems that the minority population is completely consolidated behind the Congress party.
Well, hindsight is 2020, Ankit, so of course one can make that hypothesis now. But I'm pretty sure the Congress knew what they were getting into, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there would have been a calculated guess. My sense is that the sort of rhetoric on Bajrangbali that was used in Karnataka was just not the sort of narrative that works in a state like Karnataka. So I think it was misplaced, but it is also possible that the BJP already
The point
knew.
Ankit was making is that, yes, but you know, whatever the while it's got more in Delhi than on the ground, also sent a message to the Muslim
of course,
voters, and that consolidated for the Congress there.
I'm agreeing with that. I'm saying that yes, that could have well happened, and anyway the Muslims are consolidating behind the Congress. If you look at, you know, the opinion polls starting last year, they were giving them 125 plus. C voter was consistently doing that. My point is that when the BJP did that, what was the reason why they did that? A, I think they were trying to enthuse their cadre who they thought were very demotivated. Second, I also felt Prime Minister Modi already probably knew this was not happening, so this was a pitch for 2024, vis-a-vis 2023. So that is another possibility.
Okay.
But I think the broader theme is, Ankit, as you said, barring coastal, if you look at Karnataka, it's 6 regions, right? Congress has flipped 4 of those 6 regions in its favor.
Yes.
Bombay, Karnataka, Central Karnataka are citadels of the BJP with the very strong Lingayat presence. Last I checked at 1:40 p.m., Congress has won 33 out of 50 in Mumbai, Karnataka. In Central Karnataka, they were also ahead of the BJP. Old Mysore, they have gained at the expense of the JDS, where they are picking, and then Hyderabad, Karnataka, which is very important beyond Karnataka.
Yes.
Why is that important, Ankit? Hyderabad, Karnataka is 50% SC/ST plus Muslim. 28 out of 41 seats going to the Congress. This is as per 140, that might have increased because the seats have increased. This is where Mr. Kharge comes from. What this is telling you is that the Congress has been able to get the vote of the poor, disadvantaged groups. Of the 51 SC/ST seats,
So the guarantees seems to the Labharti which used to be attached to the BJP seems to have somewhere worked for the Congress party, at least with the promises that they made.
another point here. Amongst the SC/ST seats, 51, Congress wins 33. Labharti. You define a Labharti. A Labharti of India has the same.
But I'm just saying that something that is for the BJP.
Yes.
So at this moment, for the Congress party, there seems to have been a triple L model. The Labharti, or of course the people, those who could have benefit from the schemes and the guarantees that they made, the ladies, and keeping the election local.
Yes.
That seems to have worked for the Congress party, isn't it?
Well, let's take that one moment before we have to take a break. Let's go to Mr. Vats first. He's been listening to all the analysis and learning for the BJP here. What's the party is, of course, going.
Some disgruntlement amongst the party karyakartas in coastal Karnataka. Now, last year when you had the unfortunate murder of 3 youth, one of them being Praveen Nettaru, who was a Yuva Morsha worker. Now, the state president tried to visit the family and Yuva Morsha so organizationally strong in Karnataka. There is some the state now. I think it's that we also believe when looking at coastal though the Bajrang Bali, the Bajrang Dal made a difference. At the end of the day, there is discussion the party career, which probably has played a role in the result seen.
If religious polarization is something nobody else can do better than the even then if you don't maximize power, keep the same thing, then of course the Congress, they should not stick with the people because, you know, I suppose you want to come in, is nothing that the BJP associates itself with the BJP. The image that those who come on Valentine don't let people, party or do.
Before we go to Mr. Bose, we are joined by Congress's Mohan Kumar Mangalam joining us on the line. Congratulations, and maybe you can come in here about this whole issue of the Bajrang Dal and how it played out. Whether, earlier here in the Delhi media we spoke a lot about it and it seemed to be working against the Congress. But today, of course, a sweep by the Congress in Karnataka.
Thank you, Gargi. So I actually spent the last 25 days in central Karnataka overseeing a constituency there. And I can tell you that when the Bajrang Dal issue came about, it probably was talked about for a day or so, but really there was no resonance on the ground. Nobody really cared about this issue beyond maybe a day of talking about it. So I didn't see it as doing anything except maybe energizing their base in places where they were already very much in the lead and that were easily communalized, such as coastal Karnataka. Apart from that, I didn't see the Bajrang Dal making any sort of dent in our vote share or in the election at all. In fact, I didn't see any of their narratives working. They were jumping basically between 3 different narratives. The first was your traditional Hindu Khatre Mein Hai narrative, then came Desh Khatre Mein Hai, and when all that failed, it was Modi Ji Khatre Mein. And none of the 3 actually worked out for them. People voted for progressive politics. They voted for the guarantees that we offered them and communicated to them over a period of not 1 or 2 months, but over 6 or 7 months. I think if the BJP has a lot of lessons to learn from this election, so does our party. In all humility, I'll say that we ran a great campaign, we had great execution, and we did this consistently for an extended period of time. This wasn't an election that the Congress party started preparing for a month or 2 months before, but rather at least about 8 to 10 months.
And the credit
before.
for that would go to your local leadership in Karnataka. You had strong leaders like D.K. Shiv Kumar, Siddaramaiah, and they started working quite ahead of, for the Congress, which you usually don't see every time with the Congress.
You know, if you ever saw Mr. Gandhi during Bharat Jodo Yatra or in any of the rallies he attended, he wasn't putting his arms up by himself. He was picking up Mr. Siddaramaiah's arm, Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar's arm. So unlike the BJP that chooses to concentrate all their efforts and projects one person who either wins or loses the day for them, we have collective leadership. And in that collective leadership, there is our Delhi-based leaders, which is Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Ms. Priyanka Gandhi, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who also happens to be local, and there is Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah, who have carried most of the weight in this election. That goes without saying, it's a state election.
I think what this has done, Karnataka election, has also sort of presented Congress a model of how they can go ahead with other elections. I'm sorry, I have to take a very quick
one more thing? Can I just say one really quickly?
Go ahead.
This model actually was already implemented in Himachal. And unfortunately, Mr. Modi, even though he lost Himachal, decided to repeat what he did in Himachal, which is ask for the vote only for himself and sort of sweep everything that was going wrong with the government under the carpet.
But I think the only difference between Himachal and Karnataka, the only difference between Himachal and Karnataka, yes, it was a very local campaign with, Priyanka Gandhi here also in Karnataka did more rallies than anybody else, any leader from BJP and Congress together. But the difference was that here you had very strong faces from the Congress party in Himachal Pradesh, who did not A, project anybody, B, the local leadership in that sense was possibly was not as strong, or at least did not come to forward as aggressively as it was in Karnataka. It was purely a local leadership-led campaign where your national leaders also stuck to the issues which were hyper-local.
So I would disagree there, because I was in Himachal in Dharamshala for about a month as well, and I saw not one but many of our local leaders coming together on the same stage to ask for votes. Then again, it was many people on the guarantee card that we gave out. We gave out a few guarantees there as well, and we made the election entirely local, whereas Mr. Modi came in and tried to, again, the same type of issues that were mentioned in this election were used there as well. And in fact, he had much more confidence there, I would say, because in the parliament election preceding, he had the highest vote share in Himachal than any other state. Once he lost there, I have no
Another
idea.
interesting thing about Himachal and Karnataka comparison is that Bharatiya Janata Party's president, who comes from Himachal, lost his state.
Yes,
the Congress
that's something we talked about.
president Mallikarjun Kharge has been able to win the state for their party.
Well, on that note, I think we really
चाल दे दिए दोस्तों। यहाँ पर 14 रुपए की टेबल हो गई है, अभी 16 रुपए की हो गई है दोस्तों। सब बंदे चाल दे रहे हैं। अब दोस्तों यहाँ पर 18 रुपए की टेबल है। अब मेरे पास में जैसे घूम के चाल आती है, मैं चाल को बढ़ा दूंगा क्योंकि पत्ते मेरे पास में अच्छे हैं। इक्का वासा बेगम इतने अच्छे पत्ते हैं बहुत ज्यादा। अब मैं यहाँ पर चाल को बढ़ाता हूँ और मैंने चाल दे दी है, तो यहाँ पर तुरंत 30 रुपए हो गए। ओके, अब दोस्तों यहाँ पर जितने देख सकते हैं 1027 रुपए 55 पैसे है मेरे पास में। अभी मेरे पास में फिर घूम के चाल आएगी। ओके, और फिर मैं बढ़ा के चाल दूंगा। अभी 2 बंदे पैक हो चुके हैं, अभी 2 बंदे मेरे साथ में खेल रहे हैं दोस्तों, और ये सोच रहे हैं कि मुझे चाल देना चाहिए नहीं चाहिए। अगर आपके पास पत्ते अच्छे तो आप तुरंत चाल दें, बढ़ा के चाल दें, ताकि आप इसे जीत पाए। दोस्तों मैं जीत चुका हूं, देख सकते हैं 1056 रुपए मुझको हो चुके हैं। इसे कहते हैं एक अच्छी ट्रिक और एक अच्छी टिप्स। हो गए।
कैपिटलिस्ट की ताकत थी, दूसरी तरफ गरीब जनता की शक्ति थी और शक्ति ने ताकत को हरा दिया। और यही हर स्टेट में होगा। कांग्रेस पार्टी कर्नाटक में गरीबों के साथ खड़ी हुई, हम गरीबों के मुद्दों पर लड़े। और मुझे सबसे अच्छी बात यह लगी कि हमने नफरत से, गलत शब्दों से ये लड़ाई नहीं लड़ी, हमने मोहब्बत से, प्यार से, दिल खोल के ये लड़ाई लड़ी। और कर्नाटक की जनता ने हमें दिखाया कि ये देश मोहब्बत इस देश को अच्छी लगती है। कर्नाटक में नफरत की बाजार बंद हुई है, मोहब्बत की दुकानें खुली हैं। ये सबकी जीत है। सबसे पहले ये कर्नाटक की जनता की जीत है। हमने चुनाव में कर्नाटक की जनता से, गरीब जनता से 5 वायदे किए थे। मैंने अपने भाषण में कहा, खारगे जी ने भाषण में कहा, सब नेताओं ने भाषण में कहा था कि हमारे 5 वायदे हैं। हम इन वायदों को पहले दिन पहली कैबिनेट मीटिंग में पूरा करेंगे। मैं फिर से कर्नाटक की जनता को दिल से बधाई देना चाहता हूं, धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
All right, so that was short and sweet. He said that we will fulfill those 5 promises, and Rahul Gandhi there arriving at the Congress office and giving that short statement to all the Congress workers about their victory in Karnataka, and saying in the first cabinet meeting they'll fulfill those 5 guarantees.
Those guarantees, really they percolated it down as far as the people are concerned. Remember, we were talking about the women voter. There's 1% less than the male voters this time, as far as the voting percentage is concerned. about 73.5 for the men and 72.5 for the women. But giving that 2,000 rupee for the women has really worked. It has resonated on the ground, and that was the women vote bank, to say the least. In the recent past has been associated with the BJP, that they vote more for Prime Minister Modi, more for the Bharatiya Janata Party. The Congress significantly has gained there as well. 139 is what the Congress leads at this moment. 62 for the Bharatiya Janata Party, 20 for JDS, and 3 to the others. Very quickly, while we were talking about the various caste, subcaste, because Karnataka, and trust me, it's as caste driven as people usually associate with the North Indian states, so sometimes even more. This is what we were talking about during the break. In the Lingayat stronghold, traditional Bharatiya Janata Party bastion, this time, at least about 40 minutes back, the data suggested that the Congress has gained 27 seats over the Bharatiya Janata Party. They have taken 27 seats from the BJP and is at 52 out of 78 seats they were leading at that moment.
That is a remarkable performance, considering that, I was there when Sonia Gandhi was fighting Sushma Swaraj of Chikmagalur, which was almost the beginning of the BJP's campaign in Karnataka. And I still remember how the BJP started capturing the Lingayat vote. And I think Yediyurappa started symbolizing in many ways the Lingayat vote, the political Lingayat thought of Yediyurappa. And the fact that Yediyurappa is yesterday's story is, I think, very, very important, because his sons have not been able to take that mantle. They're fighting among themselves, and honestly, really, the JDS seems to be, this thing I'm talking about, of course, sorry, Devi Gowda. What I'm saying is that the Lingayats on one hand and Vokaligas on the other hand, the two main dominant castes, the Congress has gained from both, because the Lingayat on the one hand is missing Yediyurappa, and therefore they have made a big dent.
And huge
and in the Vokaliga, for instance, in Old Mysore, they have been able to make big gains. Of course, the BJP has also made gains, but the Congress has made much bigger gains because they have somebody like Shiv Kumar.
And may be able to convert more seats. I'm sorry, I have to take a very quick break. Commercial obligations as well. Quickly, we are slipping into a short break. Our continuous coverage here on NDTV continues. Stay tuned.
नो इन्वेस्टमेंट इंस्टॉल करते ही आपको 1800 रुपये मिलेंगे और इस 1800 को आप किसी भी बैंक अकाउंट में विथड्रॉ कर सकते हैं। मैं आपके सामने लाइव विथड्रॉ करने वाला हूं, वीडियो को पूरा जरूर देखिए। इस ऐप का लिंक आपको नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स पर मिल जाएंगे, आप वहां पर क्लिक करके डाउनलोड कर लीजिए। उसके बाद मोबाइल नंबर दे करके आपको रजिस्टर करना है। रजिस्टर करते आपको कुछ बोनस मिल जाएंगे, तो उसी बोनस से आपको 3 पत्ती 4-5 राउंड खेलना है। उसके बाद ओपन लिखा आएगा, जैसे आप बैक करेंगे तो उसी ओपन पर आप जैसे ही क्लिक करेंगे तो इस तरह स्पिन का ऑप्शन आ जाएंगे और किसी को 300 तो किसी को 1800 तो किसी को 2000 तक मिलते हैं। तो मुझे यहाँ पर 1800 मिला है। तो देखिए 10 पैसा बाकी है, तो यहाँ पर देखिए गोल्ड से ये कंप्लीट हो रहा है। तो यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं 1 गोल्ड मिला है। उसके बाद फिर से और 1 गोल्ड मिला है। फिर से स्पिन करता हूँ और 1 गोल्ड मिलते ही मेरा 1800 रुपया कंप्लीट हो जाएगा। यहाँ पर देखिए 1 गोल्ड मिल चुका है और यहाँ पर देखिए ये टोटल 60